On the 9th day of the month of Av, Tish B'Av, we fast and mourn the destruction of the Holy Temple in Jerusalem. Both the first temple and the second temple were destroyed on this date. The Shabbat preceding the fast day is called Shabbos Chazoin, Shabbat of Vision. For on this Shabbat, we read a chapter from the prophet Isaiah that begins with the words, Chazoin Yeshayahu, the vision of Isaiah. But there's also a deeper significance to the name Shabbos Chazoin, expressed by our Hasidic master, Rabbi L of Barditchev, with the following metaphor. A father once prepared a beautiful suit of clothes for his son, but the child neglected his father's gift, and soon the suit was in tatters. The father gave the child a second suit of clothes. This one too was ruined by the child's carelessness. So the father made a third suit. This time, however, he withholds it from his son. Every once in a while, on special and opportune times, he shows the suit to the child, explaining to him that when you, the child, learn how to appreciate and properly care for my gift, it will be given to you. This induces the child to improve his behavior until it gradually becomes second nature to him, at which time he will be worthy of his father's precious gift. On the Shabbat of vision, says Rabbi Yitzchak, each and every one of us is granted a vision of the third and final temple. A vision that, though we do not ourselves see, our souls see. This vision evokes a profound response in us, even if we're not consciously aware of the cause of our sudden inspiration. The metaphors of our sages are precise. We must therefore ask the obvious question on Rabbi Yitzchak's metaphor. Why are the three temples portrayed as three suits of clothes? Would not the example of a building or house have been more appropriate? To understand this, we must first address the much larger question of why do we even need a temple? Isn't God everywhere? Don't we quote from Isaiah every day in the Kedusha service, Kadosh, 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 Hashem Tzivakos, Melo Chol Haaretz Kevodo? Holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is filled with His glory. So how is the temple any different than the rest of the world? God's presence and involvement in His creation is masked by the seemingly independent and arbitrary working of nature and history. The Holy Temple was a breach in the mask, a window through which God radiated His light into the world. Here, God's involvement in our world was openly displayed by an edifice in which miracles were a natural part of its daily operation and whose very space expressed the infinity and all-pervasiveness of the Creator. Here, God showed Himself to man, and man presented himself to God. This helps us understand Rabbi Yitzchak's precise metaphor. A house and a garment both house and envelop the person, but a garment does so in a much more personal and individualized manner. While it's true that the dimensions and style of a home reflect the nature of its occupant, they do so in a more generalized way, not as specifically and as intimately as a garment suits its wearer. On the other hand, the individual nature of the garment limits its function to one's personal use. A home can house many. A garment can clothe only one. I can invite you into my home, but I cannot share my garment with you. Even if I give it to you, it will not clothe you as it clothes me. God chose to reveal His presence in our world in the Beit Hamikdash, a communal structure that goes beyond the personal to embrace an entire people and the entire community of man. Yet the Holy Temple in Jerusalem also had certain garment-like features. And it is these features that Rabbi Yitzchak wishes to emphasize by portraying the Beit Hamikdash as a suit of clothes. For the Holy Temple was also a highly compartmentalized structure. There was a women's court and a courtyard reserved for men, an area restricted to the Kohanim, many small chambers, a sanctuary called the Heichal. There was a sanctuary called the Holy. And then there was the Holy of Holies, a chamber into which only the high priest may enter, and only on Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year. The Talmud actually enumerates 8 domains of varying sanctity within the temple's complex, each with its distinct function and purpose. So although the temple expressed a single truth, the all-pervasive presence of God in our world, it did so to each individual in a personalized manner. Although it was a house, in the sense that it served the entire world as their meeting point with the infinite, each and every individual found it a tailor-made garment for his or her specific spiritual needs, affording him or her a personal and intimate relationship with God. Each year, on the Shabbos before Tish B'Av, we're shown a vision of our world as a divine home, a place where all of God's creatures will experience His presence. But this is only a vision of a godly garment, the distinctly personal relationship with God, particularly suited to our individual character and aspirations, that we will each enjoy when the third temple descends to earth. Twice we were given the gift of a divine dwelling in our midst. Twice we failed to measure up to the gift and banished the divine presence from our lives. God built us a third temple, but unlike its two predecessors, the third temple is as eternal and invincible as its omnipotent architect. But God has withheld this third suit of clothes from us, confining its reality to a higher, heavenly sphere. Each year, on the Shabbos of vision, Shabbos Chazon, this Shabbos, God shows us the third temple. Our souls behold a vision of a world at peace with itself and its Creator. It's a vision of the third temple in heaven, in its spiritual and elusive state, like the third set of clothes that the child's father has made for him, but is withholding from him. But it's also a vision with a promise, a vision of a heavenly temple poised to descend to earth, a vision that inspires us to correct our behavior and hasten the day when the spiritual vision becomes reality. Through these repeated visions, living in the divine presence becomes more and more second nature to us, progressively elevating us to the state of worthiness to experience the divine in our daily lives. May we merit this year to experience not only a soul vision, but 2020 vision with our own eyes of the third Beit Hamikdash in Yerushalayim HaBenuya b'meheira v'yameinu. Amen.